Hey everybody, hope you guys doing all right. Excuse me, sorry. So, I've only ever just wanted one person. I just, as far as a female companion is concerned, just one. The deep connection. That's what I've always been drawn to. Just a very deep, powerful, loving connection that is just like transcends time and shit, man. Just like real, like powerful love. Like that's what I've always wanted. Not multiple partners, not a variety. Even though I'm a Virgo and I do, I really do like a variety of activities. I love that type of shit. Like in a job where I can do multiple different activities and things throughout the day, I really like that type of work. So I do appreciate that. But when it comes to a woman, it's always like ever since I was a kid, growing up and watching all these movies, just what I felt in my heart was always has just been one woman, always. I've never, just until recently, and that wasn't even really my idea. That came from, I feel, somewhere else. It was an opportunity that was shared with me, and I was like, you know what, dude? I mean, I get there's some sense to be had in that, and I'm an open dude. I did try the open relationship thing years ago, and it didn't work. So it's like I kind of know it doesn't work. And then I also spoke with some elders here in Oregon about a year, maybe it was probably over a year ago. It was a while ago, and they told me they were part of a commune, and it was going well. It was doing pretty good until people started swinging. People started sleeping behind each other's backs and just essentially having multiple partners. And that's when that they moved out of the commune because it started to get just weird. They said, so. And then I watched Nature Boy for a while, and he was very he was very an advocate for having multiple partners. And it's like stuff hasn't worked out. I don't even know the whole story, what's going on with him. I know he's dealing with legal issues and stuff, and I hope he's doing all right because he's the one dude who first of all, I think he was my first subscriber, but he was also somebody that without him, I probably wouldn't have decided to go on spiritual missions because he was a very strong advocate about how your heavenly mother and your father, they'll take care of you. If you're doing right and you have a righteous cause and desire in your heart and, you do things because that's the intent, that's the true intent behind it, then, you're essentially going to be taken care of. And, it was from watching him that I finally decided to start going on spiritual missions. So I wouldn't have met Joshua. I wouldn't have met, Dustin. I wouldn't have just gone through and done a bunch of very, very like challenging things. Like that still in my life, being on the streets, some of the moments that I dealt with, were the hardest and most challenging physically, mentally, and spiritually, like emotionally, some rough shit, man. Just from doing that. So, that's still where I find the most peace is out there doing that, like wandering around, like being in that adventure, not knowing what's going to happen next, meeting all sorts of different types of people, and like just going with the flow and as well as you can. Like it's still one of my favorite things to do as a human being. So but it takes training. Like it's not just something for anybody to jump into. Like I've spent a long time exercising my body and camping and backpacking, and I did multiple backpacking trips just on trails on my own before I did that because I want to make sure I was comfortable with carrying a backpack for an extended period of times. And once I found out I was like, well, fuck, dude, let's give it a shot and check out the city. So but anyway, getting back to the point of this video is to just say how I still, it's always a particular person. She's the only one I really want. She's the only one I feel like I have the highest potentiality for a deep connection. I do feel like she's my anyway, it's her. I don't these other people I've talked about recently or in the past, I think a lot of it's just because I guess I've wanted a security net in case something bad happens with her, like the particular person, having somebody else there to jump to, or to at least having somebody else there in my life, like so that I wouldn't have to deal with the feeling of regret, and not regret, but rejection, being alone again, because I've spent so much time, especially the past couple years, on my own, and a lot of it's been just because of bad relationships and bad friendships, and it's just like going back to where you're just like left with, it hurts. So I think I was trying to protect myself from that. But if you have that type of mentality, it's not a good mentality to have if you're trying to get into a relationship. So it's like I see that now, and it's so for me to say that was rather foolish. It was, it's me trying to protect myself. So I see that now, and what I've kind of like, you need to be ready to fail essentially, because life is full of failures, mistakes, hardships. It's a struggle, man. It's not all struggle, but there's a lot of struggling involved in life. And a lot of things don't work out, but it's how you continue on in your struggles and your hardships and your challenges that can produce good character or bad character if you don't learn from the shit. And then hopefully that bad shit that you go into will, some way or another, turn you out into something good. But you got to go through the ickiness in order to get to that sweet shit. So trying to put some type of security over me having to go through that, it was just the wrong way to do things. Like it's it's not a good way to do things. So I was tripping when I did all that, and I'm sorry. Sorry for my voice too. I know it sounds like shit, but yeah, it's just a particular person. That's who I want to be with. So, all right, I love you guys. Y'all take care. Bye.